So I am 28 years old, turning 29 in August. I'm North London, born and raised. I'm still a North Londoner. I've lived there my whole life. And I've been an Arsenal fan since the age of 5. I've been to over 200 games, at home and away, and also Wembley. And let's just say, you know, I've seen a lot of pain. I mean, I've seen 2 league titles as a kid. But in my teenage years and as an adult, many Arsenal fans can also tell you that coming with supporting Arsenal is a lot of pain, especially since the 2006 Champions League final in Paris. Ever since that final went wrong, it seems like every season there's something bad happening, apart from a few FA Cups. But yeah, this season, once again, just like every season, probably since 2006, there's some sort of misery involved with supporting Arsenal, and this time it's agonizing because we were 2 points away from the Premier League title. 2 points away from this season being spectacular, just 2 points. That's all it was, 2 points. Let's talk about the season. I've done a few of these reviews with Arsenal. I've done like 5 now, I think. So I just had to do another one for this season, especially after last season. There's a common theme with Arsenal Football Club amongst fans across the country, where Arsenal are bottlers, where we bottle things. There is a reason behind this. We have been known to bottle things. We've known to bottle title races. We've been known to bottle top 4 races as well in the last few years. It has happened. It's not like it's something that is a complete lie. We have literally bottled things in the past, whether it's title campaigns, top 4 campaigns, sometimes even finals, like the Champions League final and a few Carling Cup finals. But anyway, the narrative is continuing this season, that we have bottled the title again this season. Now that is a narrative I will not accept. I think it's partly because it's carrying over, because we're known to be bottlers anyway. The simple narrative is Arsenal failed again this season, therefore they bottled it. This season wasn't a bottle. Last season definitely was. I even said it last year in the review. We bottled it last year. We bottled it really hard. We dropped 2-goal leads to Liverpool and West Ham. We couldn't beat Southampton at home. The Brighton loss, the Nottingham Forest lost, and a few other defeats we had. The Everton lost. There's a few games in that season where we should not have thrown it away, but we did. We had an 8-point lead in February. We'd lost that. We had an 8-point lead in, I think, March, but City had a game in hand, so effectively a 5-point lead. We lost that as well. And we lost it in games that we were meant to win. It wasn't like it was a big game that we lost that. So it's understandable from last season. Last season is understandable. And previous seasons, again, understandable, because we have bottled it in the past where we've had big leads and we've thrown it away. Doesn't count this season. The narrative I don't understand this season. I feel like it's just carried over from previous seasons instead of just looking objectively at this season. This season, we didn't bottle it. We still lost. We still took an L. We still didn't win anything. And that's a fair criticism. Arsenal, another season, have not won anything. That's fair. I just don't understand the narrative that we bottled the league this season. We didn't. We won 16 of our last 18 games. We were only 2 points off City. We were neck and neck with Liverpool, Man City for a little while. Then Liverpool dropped off and we were still neck and neck with Man City. We were neck and neck with Man City since December. 16 wins out of 18. Took it to the very last day. Only 2 points off. We never had a big lead. We were top of the league a few points this season, but we never had a big lead. That's not what bottling is. That's not what bottling is. You have to have a big lead for a start. To be neck and neck with a team and to lose on the final day, that's not bottling. I don't accept that. I don't accept that. So, yeah, we are known bottlers. Who on earth is drilling right now? We are known bottlers. Not this season. I just thought I'd just get that out of the way, brush it aside before I actually review the season. So, yeah, another criticism as well is that we didn't win the league because we didn't beat City away. Now, there is some truth to this. Of course, if we beat City away, we might have won the league. I accept that to an extent. We took 4 points off City. We beat them and we drew against them. Obviously, on the other hand, they got 1 point against us. They played us 3 times this season. They haven't won a single game out of the 3. I don't think we lost the title because we drew against them at the Etihad. I don't believe that, okay? Especially when you consider as well, Klopp's Liverpool, right? They got 97 points against City, did not win the league. which is ridiculous, by the way. That's the truth behind going against Pep's Man City, which is another reason why I feel we haven't bottled it this season. When you go against Pep's Man City, you have to be near perfect. You have to be near perfect. We were 16 out of 18. That was not far from perfect. Still wasn't enough. We won 28 games out of 38. The same amount of wins as them. They won 28 as well. They got 2 more draws than us. That's the main reason why they won the league. You have to be near perfect. We got 28 wins out of 38. Only 10 games we failed to win. It still wasn't enough. That's how it is. That's Pep's Man City. Last year, yes, obviously that was Pep's Man City as well, but we had a big lead over them last year, so that's a bit different this year. But yeah, Liverpool went up against them 3 times. Liverpool actually won 1 of them, which is fair play to them for beating that team. But yeah, they got 97 points and 92 points, and they didn't win the league. They were 1 point off both times. In neither of those seasons, and pretty much in any season actually, Liverpool could never win in the league at the Etihad away at Man City, as good as they were. And that Liverpool team that got 97 points and 92 points is better than this current Arsenal team. And they couldn't win away at City. So I don't like this narrative that, oh, even though there's some truth to it, because of how close the title was at the end, there is no shame in getting 4 points out of 6 against City. There was no shame in that. Even Liverpool couldn't get 4 out of 6. So I'm just like, to me it's just like, I'm not sure I understand, because Man City this season, they couldn't beat Arsenal, they couldn't beat Liverpool. Obviously they won the league, so it doesn't matter anyway. But just from my perspective, I just can't put it down to that City game. Even though if we win that game, we maybe win the title. But we could have snatched that game as well. Like, we had some chances. Jesus missed the chance that he should have scored. That could have been a different game. Another narrative is Villa. I think that's more understandable, because that's the one game we lost since December, and ultimately we lost by 2 points. So, and in that Villa game as well, Villa I think were better than us. I think they played better. I think we had a better second half. But no, sorry, not better second half. We had a better first half. Second half, they were much better than us, and they deserved to win the game ultimately. First half, we didn't take our chances. That's how it was. But yeah, we were not good enough in that Villa game. So I can understand people saying, "Oh, they didn't win the league because they lost to Villa." Fair enough. But from my perspective, it's not the Villa game. It's not the City game. From my perspective, it's the first half of the season. 2 points specifically. The start of the season and December. And before you say, wait a minute, start of the season, David, doesn't matter as much. Yes, it does. Against Pep's Man City, every game matters. A few draws at the start can actually destroy you against Pep's Man City. And I feel the first half of the season, especially at the very start and in December, that's where we really lost the title. I don't think we lost it to Villa we lost it to Villa at some point. I don't think we lost it. For me, it's not the Villa game that we lost at home, and it's not the City game that we drew away. For me, it's December and August. There are 4 games that come into my mind. 4 specific games. 2 of them are 2-2 draws. In August, we drew, I think it was August anyway, we drew 2-2 with Fulham. Okay, so Fulham, credit to them. I don't think they deserve to lose that game, to be honest. But we were not good enough that game. And generally in the first half of the season, we played Havertz in midfield. It wasn't working. Arteta kept doing it for some reason. I don't know why. Like a madman, he kept trying. It never worked. Eventually, we put Havertz in a better position, a forward position. And even though he was never like a crazy goal scorer, when he got confidence, he played well there. Not just from goals, but from other aspects of his game. Havertz played really well second half of the season because we played him in a position that suited him better and that suited the team better. But in the first half of the season, we played him in midfield. He didn't fit the system. It didn't work. And we dropped I'm not going to say we dropped points purely because of him. It's not like that. It's just that it was part of the problem. And I don't mean him specifically. I criticised him, but it was partly Arteta was playing him in the wrong way. Arteta wasn't utilising him the right way, and I think that cost us a bit. So that Fulham game, we were 2-1 up against 10 men. We were 1-0 down, I'm fairly certain, from a City Ramsdale era. We were 2-1 up. They got a red card. They still got a draw out of it. They still managed to get a goal out of it. That's unacceptable. How are you going to win titles if you're going to lose like that? to Fulham. No disrespect to Fulham, I actually like Fulham as well. But how can you expect to win titles if you're doing that? Tottenham. Now, in fairness to Tottenham, which I hate to say because I hate Tottenham. In fairness to Tottenham, they actually played well that day, and they maybe could have won the game. But considering how the game went, we got a penalty. We went 2-1 up. Things were looking good from that point. What did we do? We gave them a goal. Here's a mistake. Here's your free goal. 2-2. There's 4 points right there. 4 points right there. We got 2 points out of those games. It could have been 4 more. We lost the league by 2 points. 4 points we lost from silly errors in games that we could have won. Games that we could have managed well enough to win. Then comes December. This is a bigger issue, right? December's the biggest issue. So we lost to Villa at the start of December. In fact, we only won one game. That, if you don't count the Champions League, we only won one game in December. That was against Brighton, and that was a good win. Against Aston Villa, in fairness to Villa, again, they deserve to win that game as well. Just like they deserve to beat us at the Emirates, they deserve to win both games. But regardless, Villa just beat Man City a few days before, and they were incredible. They made Man City look normal. They made Man City look inferior. They dominated Man City. They were so good that game. They were unbelievable at Villa Park. A few days later, we had to go there. And we lost as well. I think the way we managed that game was okay. I think Villa was still better, but I think we managed it well enough to the point where we could have snatched something. And it hurts the chances we had that game that, we actually could have snatched something in that game. But what hurts even more is the end of that month. So Christmas time, Boxing Day and New Year's Eve. These are the 2 games where I feel we lost it the most. This is where I feel we should have done better here. Okay, so against West Ham, we had 30 shots. I checked the stats as well. We had 30 shots, 8 on target. They had 6 shots, 3 on target, scored 2 of them, and won 2-0. West Ham managed that game fine. They did what needed to do. They won the game fair and square. How can we have 30 shots and not score 1? Like that's unforgivable. Like, what are you doing? 30 shots, couldn't score a single one. I don't know what was going on in that game, but it was absolutely ridiculous. We had an issue that time as well. We had a lot of shots, we couldn't score any. Happened in multiple games. It hurt the most in that game, and also Liverpool FA Cup game a week after that as well. We didn't take our chances, and I don't know what was happening to us, but it just didn't work out. We played well. We did everything right except the goal scoring. Everything right that game. It's bizarre that we lost, but we just had to accept it. Went to the next game 5 days later and lost to Fulham. And in that game, there's no excuse about, we had 30 shots. We had nothing that game, mate. We scored 1 goal in the first half. Fell asleep afterwards, apparently. Fulham played like a much better team. Fulham played more like a title contender than we did that day. I'm just like, what's going on? Where's the Arsenal that's been challenging for the title? What's happened to that team? We completely crumbled in those 2. After that West Ham game, we completely crumbled in the Fulham game. Then we lost Liverpool in the cup a week later. We also had a lot of shots as well. It's like we threw our season away just like that. Like we just completely threw everything away, and it was just really frustrating. And that's where I feel we lost the title. We lost the title, I feel, in that Christmas period. Maybe that Villa game as well. And the start of the season against Fulham and Spurs. I think that's where we lost it. We got 1 point against Fulham, 0 points against Villa. Who's this? Hello again. Sorry about that. You wouldn't believe my day, mate. In March I found out basically that my workplace is closing down in July. So I've been applying for a lot of jobs. I've had 4 interviews so far. I've actually got 2 job offers that I've rejected for certain reasons. But anyway, yeah, I had an interview. Someone called me saying, "We're delighted to invite you for an interview," and I'm just like, okay, I can do this day. And then I realized something, because it was like 1:45, legitimately 1:45 p.m. I literally just realized I had an interview booked 2 weeks ago for today. I had an interview booked for 2:30. It's longer on the bus, but in a car it's like 20 minutes. I can't drive though, but regardless, at 1:45, I realized that I had a 2:30 interview. So I ordered an Uber, and I quickly just got ready and I went to an interview, and then I got back, and by the time I got back it was time to go to work because I had work in the evening, and I've just got back from work. So I've finished work 2 hours early, which is nice, but I'm just like, okay. So I remember exactly where I was, surprisingly. 1 point off Fulham and 0 points off Villa. Villa obviously a very good team, top 4. I like Emery, by the way, even though obviously it was a bit sour with Arsenal. I actually like Emery. I'm a big fan of him. I'm happy, very happy for him that he's made top 4. And for him to make Aston Villa a top 4 team, he's done a brilliant job. So credit to Aston Villa. Both games they played against us, they deserve to win. But for us, 0 out of 6 against Aston Villa is not good enough. 1 out of 6 against Fulham is certainly not good enough. And 3 out of 6 with West Ham, that can happen, but the way we lost our home game was very frustrating, especially when you consider when we actually take our chances, we beat them 6-0 away from home, away. So at home, we lost 2-0 with 30 shots. I haven't got excuses. I'm not saying West Ham didn't deserve to win. West Ham managed the game perfectly, and they won. They got the game plan correctly. But the chances we had, it's just ridiculous, like what we were doing that day. So for me, it's games like that. West Ham, Fulham home and away. Villa mainly home. Villa away, also things have gone differently, but the home game mainly, even though Villa were better than us in that game. And so were Fulham in the away game. But regardless, it's those 5 games mainly, even the Spurs home game, there's those 6 games where I look at and think, that's where the title was lost. That's where I look at it, rather than City away. And it's more so the other 5 games rather than the Villa home game as well. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Champions League and other competitions as well, but I'm going to wait until I go through the fixtures. But yeah, those are my general thoughts on the title race. We were 2 points away in the end. We were very close, but because we couldn't get over the line against certain teams that we should have beaten, this is where we are. And that's how it is, 4 points out of 6 against Man City, 4 points out of 6 against Liverpool. We didn't lose any game against those 2 teams in the league. Obviously, in the cup, we lost to Liverpool. We'll get to that later. And against Spurs, 1 win, 1 draw, 4 out of 6. Probably should have been 6, but 4 out of 6. Man United did the double over them. First time since 2006-07 season we've beaten them home and away. And Chelsea, a draw and a win. The draw, we were very poor that game. We probably should have lost it, actually. It was that bad, that 2-2 draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But against the traditional Big 6, unbeaten. We finally got big games right. We lost it elsewhere. It's painful, but it is what it is. Okay? So I'm going to go through the fixtures very briefly. I said my piece. I've said what I want to say. I'm not going to say much more than what I just said, but I'm just showing you, basically. More of a visual, I guess. Right, so that's a friendly. We'll ignore that. Community Shield, good start. 1 on penalties. That was nice. These 2 games, I don't think we played that well, but we won the game. So, it's more about results anyway. This is that Fulham game I mentioned. Again, just really abysmal to throw that away. This one, we only just won, so that could have also been a bad day for us. But, yeah, we got very fortunate with that offside decision. And it was offside, even though United fans will tell you it's not. It was very close, though, that I can agree on. And then we scored 2 goals late on. It was a great win. Win against Everton. We'll get to Champions League later on. I'm not going to go game by game in Champions League. I'm just going to tell you my thoughts on how we did in the competition. And we'll get to Carabao Cup and FA Cup as well later on. This is that Spurs game I mentioned. Very frustrating, even though Spurs actually played well that day. It was very frustrating. This is when we started to pick up a little bit. This win against Bournemouth was fantastic. We were brilliant that game. A nice 4-0 win. Man City as well. Big win there, 1-0 win. Man City barely had any shots. They had like 4 shots, I think, the whole game. They did miss some players, but they still had a pretty strong team. I think we defended very well, and we got the goal we needed. It was a great win. This game, we were very poor. I don't know what was happening that day. I don't know how we even drew. We deserved to lose that like 4-0 or something. I don't know how we got to 2-2, but we almost won it as well. But yeah, I can't really use this as an excuse for not winning the title, because we deserve nothing from it anyway. And yeah, it's just, Chelsea have been improved this season too. They even drew away at Man City on top of that. Sheffield United 5-0, good win. This was a very frustrating game, that whole VAR stuff. I don't think we deserved to win this game, but It should not have been a goal. But again, it is what it is. I'm not blaming the title on this game. I know some Arsenal fans are. For me, I don't see it that way. Newcastle is a pretty tough game anyway, and we did not we're going to score a goal anyway. But yeah, it maybe should have been a draw. Burnley at home, Brentford away. We didn't play that well in these two games, but we got over the line, especially at Brentford. We got a very close 1-0 victory. Wolves, that could have gone badly. We played so well in the first half. We almost threw the game away second half, but luckily we didn't. This game as well, could have thrown it away. Luckily, we got that last-minute winner. We should not be defending that badly, considering we got the best defensive record in the league this season. And that's just unacceptable. But we got over the line again. This is that frustrating Villa game I mentioned. They were better, but we certainly could have done better ourselves there. The Brighton win was great. See, this is where I feel we lost the title. I mentioned the Fulham and Spurs draws, which obviously are valid points as well. Look at this, like losing to Villa here, and then these two losses here. Like, what are we expecting from that? Like, what? You can't expect to challenge Man City for the title if you're doing that. And I've already mentioned my reasons for these games. And yeah, there was a draw at Liverpool as well in that same month. That wasn't so bad. I think that was a interesting result that day. I don't think getting a draw there is a bad result. So yeah, these two, you know, it looks fine here, but then you see this, and you see these two, and you're just like, we lost the title there. Let's be serious here. We'll get to this later because it's the FA Cup. Yeah, this is when the streak started. So instead of me scrolling up, there you go, 5-0, 2-1, 3-1 against Liverpool, 6-0 away at West Ham, 5-0. Was 5-0 away at Burnley? I think it was at home. I think it was at home to Burnley. Smashed Newcastle 4-1. Sheffield United 6-0. That was away as well. Only just beat Brentford. I think there was partly a mental block there, especially after last year, but we got over the line against them. Then the City game, which people say that's why we didn't win the title. Again, I don't see it that way. Beat Luton, beat Brighton, lost to Villa. This was also a key game. If we had won that, who knows? Beat Wolves, smashed Chelsea, then we beat Tottenham away, which doesn't happen too often. We did beat them last year away as well. Win against Bournemouth, who were playing very well second half of the season. Win away at Old Trafford. We've only won twice there since 2006, so that's very significant. So not only do we have a great run, we're winning games that we don't normally win on top of that. And we beat Everton last day. That is title-winning form most seasons. But against Pep's Man City, not so much. It's the first half of the season. This is 18 games. We won 16 of them. This is why I'm saying the first half of the season, where we lost more games, that's where it was lost. Yes, it was months ago. Yes, it was start of the season. Yes, it was first half of the season. Yes, it was Christmas time. But that still counts. Especially against Pep's Man City. It still counts. We have been criticised for not being able to go in the business end of the season, the last few months of the season, February onwards. This season we've kind of proven otherwise, but it still wasn't enough. You've got to be even better than 6 wins out of 18. Or just be better in the first half of the season. If we just wasn't experimenting so much in the first half of the season, who knows? Who knows? But it's just very frustrating, man. And it's very heartbreaking. The fact that we're so close this time, it's not like, oh, we had a 10-point lead and lost it. That's happened. Like, we've lost 5-point leads, we've lost 8 points leads. We've lost some big leads and lost both in title races and even top 4. But this hurts more. This hurts more because the fact that we didn't actually bottle it, we actually took it all the way and we still couldn't do it, this hurts. And I can imagine how Liverpool fans felt when they got 97 points and didn't win the title. When they got 92 points, didn't win the title. I can imagine how they felt because most seasons those tallies are enough to win. We got 89, which obviously is not as good as 97, but to get 89 points, which is the highest tally in a long time, and still not win the title, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I will not accept that we bottled it because I don't think we bottled it. Another tweet here. We broke our single season club record for most wins in a season. We got 28 out of 38. Most goals scored, highest goal difference. And this is our own personal records. But we were still pretty good overall as well. We got the second highest goal difference. We scored the most goals. Sorry. Sorry, that's my mind going weird. We scored the second most goals, just 5 behind City, and considering how much goals they got in them, you know, pretty damn impressive. And we had the best defensive record, conceded only 29 goals. City conceded 34, and then look, below that it goes 41, 61. You get the point. Incredible defensive record, and almost the best goal scoring record, second best. Same goal difference. Same amount of wins. It's just those 2 draws that have gotten them the title. It is what it is. It is what it is. Man City lost just twice since the start of October. In 90 minutes. They lost to Real Madrid as well. That's 3 losses. They lost to in the Carabao Cup early, before October. Obviously in the FA Cup final, because they didn't lose in that competition. Again, it is what it is. So let's talk about the other competitions. So instead of me just going through the games, I'm just going to put it straight. I'm going to focus on the 2 games that we lost. West Ham away in the Carabao Cup, and Liverpool at home in the FA Cup. These were 2 results that were just not acceptable. We lost 3-1 to West Ham away in the Carabao Cup. I was actually there. I was in the home end. I know I'm wearing this colour, which is not helpful to me. To be fair, Arsenal used to wear this colour as well, so I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah. I was in the home end, just in disguise, and I had a miserable day, to be honest. To be fair, neither did the Arsenal fans also had a miserable day in the away end. But yeah, I was just sitting there, I'm just like, oh dear. There's a vlog of that if you want to see it. Please don't watch it. But anyway, yeah, not good enough. And FA Cup against Liverpool. Liverpool are a good team. Obviously a very good team. Losing to them, there's not always a shame in that. But the way we lost that game, we had a lot of chances. We didn't take them. Just like the West Ham game the week before. They punished us. It was really frustrating. Obviously Liverpool on their day, they can beat anyone. That doesn't mean we can just make an excuse for that though. We didn't perform well in that game. Liverpool played well. We didn't. We deservedly lost the game. But the fact that we've got nothing else, like the fact that obviously the Premier League, we were close, but we didn't win it. So that means there's no trophies. So the fact that we've not won the league and we have nothing else to look forward to, that's another frustrating thing. The 2 cup competitions, FA Cup, we've won it the most times, of course. We're proud of that competition. To go out in the 3rd round, considering our record in the competition, yes, I know we lost to Liverpool, but it's not good enough, I'm afraid. Yes, I know. Obviously, our players, even though they were out at both cups quite early, they look fairly tired after the Bayern Munich games. I get that, but still, you kind of got to fight for more. You got to fight for more things. I feel like, you know, it would have been, you know, a bit easier to look forward to an FA Cup final. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that we should make it there. It's not our right to be there. We have to earn it, but we've earned it before. The fact that we've gone out in the 3rd round is just really frustrating. And in the Carabao Cup, to lose to West Ham the way we did, they just dominated. They were all over us. And we didn't play that weaker team. We did make changes. We didn't play that weaker team. The fact that we did that badly against them, it's really frustrating. I'd rather the league, but if we don't win the league, I'd rather win our competitions as well, just to like have some sort of success here and there. And then you move on to the Champions League. Again, not going to go game by game, but we had an interesting group. Sevilla, PSV, and RC Lens. Not the hardest group, but not the easiest one either. A tricky group, but we did well. 4 wins out of 6. I think we got a draw and a loss. A loss to Lens. That was a weird one. But at the Emirates, we were incredible. We were brushing teams away at the Emirates, and it was bloody beautiful watching us play. We didn't concede, scored a lot of goals. We played some great football, and it was amazing to see. Despite, like, even at the time, with some of those games, our Premier League performances weren't that great. But in the Champions League, they were bloody good. It's partly because we had more space in the Champions League. You kind of get more space in the Champions League. But it was just good to see our team, our players play with freedom and really like play well in the Champions League. In the knockouts, it wasn't so good. And I feel like it was partly a mental block. In the Champions League, we don't have a good record. And yes, I know it's different players to previous seasons. Obviously, we weren't in it since 2017. But still, the way they played in the group stages, compared to the knockouts, it was just really frustrating to see. Against Porto, we struggled to get over the line. We just got through on penalties. No disrespect to Porto, but we should be winning that more comfortably. You know, Man City or Liverpool would win that more comfortably. That's just a fact. The fact that we had to struggle that much just to beat them is really frustrating. And then you get to the Bayern game, and look, if you told me the year before that we'd be getting to the Champions League quarterfinals and losing to Bayern, I would have taken that. Sure, I would have taken that. Considering our bad record in the competition, I would take that. We've never won it, which I hope that changes one day. The fact we haven't won it is really bad, because we have success everywhere else, just not that competition. To be fair, the League Cup as well, which is the Carabao Cup now, they change sponsors like every 2 years or something. This had so many names. The League Cup, we only won it twice in history, but I don't consider it like that much of a bad thing, because it's only the League Cup. I still want to win it. Like, I want to see Arsenal win that. I'm not saying it's still a major trophy, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't hurt as bad that we only won that twice. None in my lifetime. The FA Cup, we won it the most times. Premier League, 13 times. Sorry, not the Premier League, but the league in general. Premier League started in 1992. Before that, it was a different name. In history, 13. Only behind Man United on 20 and Liverpool on 19, I think. And then the next ones after us, I think, are Everton on 9 or something. I can't remember. I think City on 9 as well right now. I think maybe they're on 10. Maybe City are on 10 now. Or they're on 9. I don't know. But one of the two. So, that's how big we are. We got 13 titles. And 3 of those in Premier League era. But where's the Champions League success? It's not there. It's not existent. And that's what stops us from being an elite level club. We are a big club. We're not an elite club. To be elite, you have to have won the you have to have been the champions of Europe at some point in time, and we've not done it. Chelsea have done it. Chelsea over in West London have done it. We haven't done it. That's an L. We got to fix that. How? When? I don't know. Please do it. Please do it. But anyway, regardless, considering our record and our embarrassing history in the Champions League, and it is embarrassing, let's be honest, considering our history in the Champions League, would I have taken a quarterfinal against Bayern Munich, getting eliminated there 2 years ago, a year ago? Yeah, I would have taken that. But context still matters. We went into that game against Bayern Munich, Bayern having a bad season, and we were having a very good season for the most part, apart from the cup competitions. Obviously, we struggled to beat Porto, but still, we got over the line. We were having a much better season than they were. On paper, we should have been doing better. Obviously, Champions League heritage, or Champions League, just being a significant team in the Champions League does make a difference mentally. And certainly, like, even though Bayern are struggling, they still know how to play the Champions League. And they were minutes away from winning against Real Madrid in the semi. So it's not like they're some pushover team. Yes, they've been bad in the Bundesliga in Germany, but they can still come out and play in the Champions League. And in the Champions League, you make an error, you could be done in a knockout game, especially against a Bayern Munich. They had a couple chances from our mistakes, and they took them at the Emirates. We had a great start. We scored the first goal. Should have made it 2-0. Ben White should have made it 2-0. A minute later, Bayern scored. Then they scored another. We got it back to 2-2. We played well, but that 2-2 draw was very frustrating. We basically threw that game away. Bayern played well. Bayern played like they were serious. We played like clowns. And considering we had the best defensive record in the Premier League, to play like that was just really frustrating. And then we had it all to do in Germany. And yes, there's no away goals rule, but it's still tough. You got to go to Germany and at least get a draw to go to penalties or get a win. We couldn't do it. And in the second half was the worst. First half we played all right. Second half we were so poor. And it's no surprise they scored the winning goal. We were so poor. And it was just really frustrating to see. And in the middle of those two games, we lost to Villa. And then we only just beat Wolves. We struggled there away from home. Maybe the Champions League was a factor. And the players definitely did look tired. Like, it's not that they didn't look tired. They actually looked tired. But I don't like to make excuses, you know? I don't like to make excuses. They have to be prepared for that. They have to be ready for that. But I do feel that because they were tired, and they genuinely were, Arteta needs to rotate better. Like, he plays Saka every minute of every game. Yes, he's our best player. Yes, our attack is better when he's there. We've found out against Everton on Sunday. He was injured. We didn't look as good going forward. I get it, but don't play him every minute of every game. We don't necessarily need that. Not just Saka, but other players as well. Our squad isn't rotated as much. And yes, I know our squad is quite thin. The squad depth isn't there. The bench isn't as strong as it should be. But more rotation than what we've been seeing is possible. And the fact that we haven't been doing that, I think, has been a factor towards the end. Having said that, though, we did win 16 out of 18. So, but some of those wins we did look like, especially against Wolves and Villa that we lost, we did look a bit jaded, and the Bayern game second half was just really frustrating. It seems like our players just weren't ready for playing every 3 days in games of that intensity in quick succession. It just wasn't working for them. Again, I'm not making excuses, but Arteta needs to manage the team better. And I think questions need to be asked of Arteta and of the players. Yes, we were very close at the end, but questions have still got to be asked. Can you do it the whole season? Arteta, I feel, panics in a lot of situations where it goes wrong, and I feel like he sometimes makes the wrong subs. His game management isn't good enough sometimes. I'm not saying we should just sack Arteta. I'm not saying that. I'm not that harsh. But point stands. When the pressure's on at the business end, he makes more errors. It doesn't help. Yes, it's his first manager job. He's done great for his first job. We were finishing 8th under him twice, and now he's 2 points off the title. He's done an incredible job to get us here. But is he the man to get us over the line? We'll see next season. We'll see what happens next season. And with the players as well, we got to know, can they go a whole season? Can they do it? Because they've shown they can do it in many games, but they've also shown that they falter in certain games where they shouldn't falter. Questions got to be asked of both the players and the manager. It's not specific to like blame someone or it's both. They're both partly to blame for our failures this season. But again, trophyless, Champions League, yes, quarterfinals to Bayern. You know, it's not the worst campaign, but the way we lost that tie was very frustrating. And it's literally after that Bayern game, they tweeted about, Arsenal account tweeted about a journey to be proud of. But it wasn't. The group stages were to be proud of, sure. Beating Porto on penalties was not to be proud of. Bayern, the way, like losing to Bayern, that's just like, you know, that can happen. Obviously, that can happen. But the way we lost to Bayern, it's just like, there's nothing to be proud of there. There's nothing to be proud of there. So yeah, my consensus is we didn't bottle the league, but again, we didn't win it, so it's still a failure. And in the cup competitions, we weren't good enough. Early exits are not acceptable for me. And in the Champions League, I wanted to see more of a fight against Bayern Munich, especially in the second half of the second leg. Yes, I get they were tired, but this is your time. Go and do it. We got a young squad that's hungry for success. Go and prove that you're good enough. Go and prove it. Instead of what we got in the second half of that Bayern game and the second half of that Villa game. Like that's a week where, you know, many people would see that as a week where we throw our season away. And are they wrong? I don't know. But yeah, it is simply what it is. And hi, bit of a clip in the middle of the video, because I'm pretty sure I remember talking about what signings we need for next season. And I can't find the clip. And I'm pretty sure I recorded a 10-minute video of this and it got deleted. I must have forgot to reword what I said. So the next part of the video makes a bit more sense in context. I feel we need a striker. We need a 30-goal a season minimum striker. We need a top striker. I don't know who we could possibly get. Like, in my mind, you know, I'd love Mbappe or Osimhen, but let's be realistic. We're not getting those guys. Could we get Isaac? Why would Newcastle sell to us? Why would they sell to us? That's what you got to think about. Unless they got FFP issues, they wouldn't sell their best striker to us. But I guess worth a try, maybe. Another option could be Ollie Watkins. I'd love him at Arsenal, but even though he's a boyhood Arsenal fan, he's just got Champions League with Villa. Yes, he'd get the same competition with us as well, but why would he leave Villa now? And if he did want to leave Villa now, would they sell him? And if they would sell him, what would they want? 120 million minimum, probably? Might also be unrealistic. Ivan Toney, I don't think he's the right player for us. Would score a lot of goals, but I'm not sure. There's other options in other leagues, but the point is we need a striker that can come in and score 30 goals a season. We don't have it, we need it, and hopefully that is addressed in the summer. We also need a central midfield player. I don't know who, but we need an upgrade on... we need to sell Party and bring someone in. We need someone who is great and can complement Declan Rice well. Again, it costs a lot of money. I just hope we can get someone in that position. I think we need another winger, because Martinelli's not been good enough this season. I think we need another winger. Not just because of that either, because like Reece Nelson, you know, we're probably going to get rid of him as well. So we do need another winger anyway. I think left wing especially needs to be addressed. It's not as important a striker for me, but it's still important. And I'm going to say left back, even though Timber is there, and I think he can do a good job there, even based on a few games he's played. I think we need to get a left back, because I don't like Zinchenko anymore, so I feel like we need to get someone there. I will say these things again in the video, but more in, like, I'm going more in depth right now. I've said this, the exact thing I said to you this morning. For some reason, I've not caught in editing. So just in case this clip is in here. Back to the video. Before I go, I'm going to go through the squad quickly. And I'll just share my quick thoughts. This won't take too long, although this video is already so long. So you're not seeing anything. David Raya, I definitely had my doubts on him, but the fact that he's won the Golden Glove, keeping the most clean sheets, he didn't play every game either, and he still kept the most clean sheets out of any goalkeeper. So that's pretty incredible. So fair play to him. I'm still not convinced that he should be our keeper going forward permanently. I'm still not convinced by that. It should convince me this season, but you know. We've had plenty of keepers that have been great for a season and then haven't been afterwards. Ramsdale. Yeah, although, like, Ramsdale was good most of the last season. He had some bad games, but regardless, he had a good season last year for the most part. Chesney, I remember, he won the Golden Glove. He was a great keeper, but he started being dodgy eventually. So I'm just saying, I don't know if I trust Raya just yet, but he's definitely... Like, I wasn't big on him anyway, but he's definitely grown on me. Ramsdale, I think we should get rid of him, unfortunately. Like, I like the guy, but I don't think... I think his time at Arsenal is over, and I think we should bring in someone else that would be a good backup to Raya, if we are signing Raya, because obviously he's technically still a Brentford player, and it was just a loan. Saliba, bloody incredible. Once again, we had him the entire season. He played every single game, and he was bloody incredible. He is... one of the biggest, probably the biggest reason why we had the best defensive record in the Premier League this season. Ben White, another reason. He's been incredible at right back. He's had a brilliant season, and yeah, I love him, man. He's just been, he's a massive prick, and everyone who's not an Arsenal fan hates him, and that's fair enough. If he was another team's player, I would hate him too, but he's our prick, so we can back him. We are often accused of being too nice and just easy to push over. So for me, I see it as a good thing to have someone like him. Yes, he is not the ideal character. Yes, he annoys a lot of people, but we need someone like that. we need to stop being too nice and start being more, maybe not more like him, but I'm saying we need more troublemakers, just not in the bad way. If that makes sense, I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. But I'm saying, like, a character like him sometimes is what we need, because we are often too nice. Gabriel, he's had a good season. I think Saliba is the main reason why that partnership works. I think if you partner him with anyone else, if you partner Gabriel with anyone else, I don't think he looks as good. I still think he's a good defender, but I think Saliba is a big reason why he's so good this season. But again, him and Saliba together, amazing partnership with Ben White next to them. It's brilliant. Timber obviously got injured, but he looks good based on what we've seen. So hopefully we see a great season from him next year, and hopefully no injuries. Kiwior, he did his job, but in some games he looked out of his depth. But then again, he did play left back, so I'll let him off. I'm not going to say, oh, he was terrible. Why is Cedric still at Arsenal? Tomiyasu, good player, just gets injured too often. I don't know, like, I don't know what to think about him, because I wouldn't say sell him based on his talent. I think he's a talented player. I think he's good defensively. but he gets injured all the time. So it's like, it's really frustrating. We've had a lot of players like that who are very good but always get injured. Zinchenko, I said it already, sell him. I'm done with him, honestly. I hope we do. I don't think Arteta will sell him, but I hope he does. I've said already, Thomas Partey, we should have got rid of him last summer. Get rid of him right now. Odegaard, he has often been criticised for not turning up in big games. I noticed that last year, and the criticism, I think, was actually fair. This season, there are some games where he's been the only good player on the pitch. In that period where we lost to Bayern and Aston Villa, he was shining the biggest. Against Aston Villa, he was our only good player, pretty much. He has been incredible for us in big games and other games as well. Martin Odegaard, especially in the second half of the season, he may have been our best player. He's one of our best players this season. He's been incredible. So yeah, I think he deserves a lot of credit. And if he stays with us and keeps playing like he's playing, he could take us right to the top. So yeah, Smith Rowe, I love him, but he's injury prone. So maybe it might be good to cash in on him. But if he wanted to stay, I'd give him a chance, because I don't doubt his talent. It's his injury, his fitness. It's just a really poor record. Jorginho, he does his job. Do I think we need better than him? Yes, but he does his job, so I don't mind him staying. El Neni is leaving. Obviously, he's been injured the whole season, so I can't really rate him. Fabio Vieira, good player. He's just not very strong. I'm not sure he suits the league. But I'll give him a chance, at least. But seriously, bulk up, man. Havertz, when we were experimenting with him, he wasn't good enough, but that's partly because of Arteta, I feel. Just not playing him in the right... not utilising him properly. But when he actually was utilised properly, he was a very good player for us. Yeah, he's not 30 goals a season. We need a 30 goals a season striker. But despite that, he did his job very well. Declan Rice, I think him along with Odegaard in our top 3 players this season, for sure. The other one is probably Saka, I would guess. Or either Saka or Saliba. But yeah, I think Rice and Odegaard are top 3 players Arsenal this season. Rice has been an incredible addition. Some people would disagree with that. I don't see why there's a disagreement there. Declan Rice has been brilliant for us. He's had some bad games for sure. He's had some games where he's been poor, but for the most part, he's improved our team massively, and he's a great addition to our midfield. And hopefully he gets a great partner with him in the summer, because I don't mind Jorginho, but I think we need better. And Partey, no. So yeah, Saka, he's been incredible again. He's been brilliant. He's had a great season. He's had some bad games for sure, but for the most part, he's been brilliant. Jesus, I said my piece on him. He's a good player, but he's not a talent-winning striker. He's a rotational striker at best. We need someone better than him. But I'm not against him staying at the club. But as first choice, no. Martinelli, I've already mentioned, he's had a bad season. He needs to have a good season in the upcoming year. Otherwise, that's it, mate. To have 2 poor seasons, if he has another poor season like this season, then questions have got to be asked. Is he the player that we thought he was? Nketiah, I think we should get rid. I think I've already said that. Trossard, love him. He can play across the front line. He's a very good player. Never world class, but it's a blessing we got him. Like, missing out on Modric was a blessing because we got him instead. And even though he's not a world class player, whether he's starting or off the bench, I think he's better off the bench anyway. But whatever he's doing, he contributes. Like, even when he's not scoring, he contributes, and he's an exciting player to watch. And he didn't cost that much, so there's no complaints there. Reece Nelson barely played, considering what he did for us last season. I'm surprised that he's not played anywhere near as much. I feel like he deserved more game time this season for sure. At least, like, we could have tried something, in the games that we lost to Villa and Bayern with him. He wasn't quite that. So I don't know. Maybe we should sell him based on the fact he's not played. But the fact he's signed a contract and he's not been played at all is just. I feel bad for him because he's not that bad a player. Maybe he's not good enough to start for us. That's a fair argument, but I'm surprised he's not been given as much of a chance this season, so I'm not going to really rate him. So yeah, that's about it. The rest are players out on loan. We only loaned out Tierney? Really? I'd take him back if he wants to. But yeah, that's a very messed up, convoluted season review that's filmed in 2 different parts of the day. But yeah, I hope you I guess enjoyed the video. If you're not an Arsenal fan, I guess. But I don't know how long this video is, but I just thought I'd share my thoughts, and this might be the longest review I've done so far. I didn't mean it to be this long. I was trying to summarize everything in 20 minutes, but ended up going on and on. But I care a lot about my club. This is my football club that I've been supporting since age 5. I've loved this club. I've been to over 200 games. I've watched plenty more. And the only reason it's not more is because I'm not a season ticket holder. I've been on the season ticket waiting list since 2015. I've been on it 9 years. I'm still waiting. I'm still like 20,000 from the waiting list for the season ticket. I've been a lifelong fan, and I really care about this club. I want it to be successful, and it's definitely better now than it has been in 18 years now. You know, like 89 points, 2 points off the title, best defensive record, so many goals scored. You know, it's a good feeling, but I still want us to win things. I want to see us win the Premier League again. I've seen it as a kid. I want to see it as an adult, please. No one's seen us win the Champions League because it's not happened. I would love to see that. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know, some things are not meant to be. But I want to see us at least be a threat in the Champions League. At least look like we might win the Premier League. And we almost did this season. I want to see us actually win things. 20 years without a league title is not good enough. I want to see that change. Champions League, no Champions League at all is not good enough. I want to see that change. I care a lot. And this is why this review turned out so long. Because I care a lot. And it just hurts that we are just 2 points away from the Premier League title. It just hurts that we were that close. But we still couldn't get over the line. This time we didn't choke. This time we didn't bottle it. But it still wasn't enough. To put all that effort in and it not be enough, it's just really frustrating. I'm not putting the effort in. The players are. And the fans at the stadium's getting behind them. I couldn't go to as many games now because of the ballot system. It is what it is. But it just hurts. And yeah, I just went on for a while in this review. And hopefully next season, when I do this video again, it's a happier one. But yeah, it's... I don't know if bittersweet's the right word, but... it is what it is the right phrase. So, yeah. I don't know. Did I do a rating system last year? I don't even know. But I'm not going to do a rating system this year. Can you imagine? I rate this season this out of 10. Nah, this ain't a movie, mate. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Anyone who's curious on what that is, that's a different sport. Hawthorn. Australian rules football. Check it out. If you're sad about Arsenal or your team, whoever your team is, if your team is doing badly, you're sad about your team, I recommend you Australian Football League. It is a mix of football and rugby played on a cricket pitch. Yeah, I know. Check it out. It's actually really fun. I'm basically advertising the sports. I recommend it. Also, support Hawthorn. We're very good. No, we're not. We're like bottom of the table, but still, I recommend it. You know, if you're depressed about your team, watch that sports. It's a lot more. It's like therapy. It's like you get to watch something else, and it's like therapeutic. I'm just saying. Goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it